Hi everyone, I hope you're pumped for an important pump house renovation episode because this is the one that gets us back into regular filming again. In our last update, we showed you how we went from this to completing the first floor, ceiling and so much more. It was a huge update. And then I gave you a little tour of the space that we'd created. Now we're a little bit behind schedule and big decisions have to be made. How do we get back to making regular content while finishing the pump house? Because let's remember who we are. We're not a pump house channel. We can only make pump house videos. So the team got together and had a chat and we agreed that our next big push was to make the first floor usable as a studio. And that's our goal for today. Here we are as we left it at the end of the last episode. Gavin is painting this wall over here while we've still got the single tower. Holly is stomping up and down the stairs like only Holly can. Hello Holly, good morning.
Good morning.
Jason's over here. What we've been doing this morning is, well, you tell us Jason, what have we got here?
Okay, what we've got here are the doors from the cupboards in the arcade archive, which we're going to recycle here in the pump house and use them as cladding on our tool hanging frames.
Don't panic, the arcade isn't going anywhere, but we will be making the foyer over there, where these cupboards doors came from, into an extended arcade space to make the arcade archive even bigger. Not today though, we have enough on our plates, with everything from cementing old brickwork to painting, filling and welding up the frame for the barrier to stop us falling off of the first floor. Quite important, that bit. There's work to do outside too, where Richard continues to weatherproof. Now the basic layout upstairs is that we have 3 bays to personalise for me, Richard and Holly to work in, and deliveries are starting to arrive for that work.
Are you happy?
I'm happy, I've got my pegboard.
Ooh.
Right, got my pegboard to put up. I know it's going to be good because it's made in the USA.
I'd love to see your pegboard, so it's like...
My space will mostly be used to disassemble and inspect machines, solder, recap and research them. So I want a nice range of tools to help with that and a bit of that old cave personality to remind us of where we've come from, including this. Now here's an old friend, some of you might remember if you've been viewing for a long time. It's my old toolbox which was in Cave 2.0. It's very echoey in here this morning. This is one of the first things I ever bought with patron support and it's been loved and it's been used ever since. But in the process of this build it's got a bit battered because it's been in here and at some point the casters broke off. It took a tumble and it took a dent in the top, but that's all character building, isn't it? So I think I'm going to put some nice new wheels on it and we're going to get it back into service in the set that I'm building in my bay. Thumbs up, Amiga Bill. With the new wheels on and some percussive engineering on the top, it's back in service and ready for the next Trash to Treasure series. Speaking of which, I'm making this old brown and yellow locker a bit funkier by keying it up, priming it, and coating the doors in a green metal paint to use in my bay. And I'm making good progress on befriending Car Park Cat. He is now visiting me daily to bask in the sun and hang out. He's fast becoming the most important member of the team. Holly and I then hit the shops for inspiration and found some interesting pieces. I liked these old factory side tables. I wasn't so keen on this sign. And we quickly walked away when we saw the price tag on this. Elevate your PCB game with PCBWay.com. PCBWay is the best on so many levels, from their design services to PCB manufacturing, as well as CNC milling and 3D printing. And you should also check out their shared projects section for all the best retro projects that you can order with one simple click. There are no steps to take, just lift your phone up and visit PCBWay.com, because if you don't, you're going down. PCBWay.com. Work continues as deliveries arrive, and there's a lot more going on behind the scenes too. First fix electrical work, more painting for Jason, And I'm thinking about how to store everything we need up here, which will look good on camera, but also be practical. So to help with that, I've cut and treated some old OBS I found outside before mounting it on the walls over the final window because those all needed to be covered up. And that will become our large tool storage area, which we'll come back to shortly. Rugs then arrived. Of course, we need rugs in our bays. Jason painted some more. And Richard's bay now starts to take shape as we help him to mount this construction he's made for his work area. It fits beautifully, but he's not entirely happy about how it looks. Tell us about your wood.
I didn't like that wood. Bit of a strange colour in the end. So we're going back to this wood.
Richard then cuts in half his old blue and orange workbench, which you may remember from older videos, and mounts that on the wall. And he hides cabling and lighting behind the additional cladding that we put on, as well as a 14-inch monitor. Then, of course, we have lunch.
Meat is wrapped inside the lettuce.
Oh,
See, look. Ham inside the lettuce.
that is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, this is like artisan sandwiches, this is.
Where's yours, Dan?
I had a key flapjack.
Okay, last day before I start to edit up this video, my job today is to get a bunch of fairy lights up there. Obviously we still haven't got our main lighting up there, that will come, but I want to start to get a bit of the ambience going on. You can see down there a light up on the wall, I'll show you that later. Richard's bay is coming along. Holly's going to work on her bay today, and hopefully the tabletops will arrive today, so I'll actually have a table. But first, let's get those up there. Now lighting is going to be such an important part of this build, from the purposeful studio lights to the ambience built with fairy lights, wall lights and highlights on our bays, and all will need to find a balance so as not to wash the others out. While our focus is upstairs, there's also some work going on downstairs as the remaining cladding has arrived and we can now clad the whole entrance hall with it. Hang on, do it. Okay, we have committed. First board.
Okay.
Just the rest of that wall to go. And tabletops do finally arrive at long last. I have a table. This could be a good new angle for the channel.
Oh, I see, just you moving around.
Just driving around with retro. Look at that, we are mobile.
Way.
Drive down, check up on Holly in her corner. Love it. Richard finds inspiration in some old pipes which Gavin delivered, thank you Gavin, and of course there will be 3D printing in his area. While Holly is adopting a system of magnets and panels for her space, and their creativity is inspiring me to put some art on the walls. So I've dug out these very rotten old bits of side art, a bit of Star Wars which is well beyond saving, and a bit of Opwolf which we have drawn around to create a template if we want to rebuild it in future, build a new one that is. And what I want to do is seal this up, make sure it's not going to bring nasty spores into the pump house, and then turn it into a work of art we can hang on the wall. It's better than throwing it in the bin, isn't it? See what we can do. After trimming it down to lay flat on a wall, I treated the wood for woodworm, mould, absolutely everything you can think of really, and then I used wood rot hardener to stabilise the crumbling edges. And finally I coated them in PVA with a little bit of water to seal up the artwork. accompanied of course by my helper cat. Jason paints, I drill, and our art is installed.
Oh, down a bit, that's a bit too high. That's it. Right, ready for me to go? Okay.
Yeah, that looks great. Really.
Get one more in.
Holly's art is also taking shape with her interchangeable panels, and a flurry of activity takes place in the self-imposed final day of work in this space to make sure that we get where we need to be.
Instant nails.
Richard's building his table.
Yeah, I'm building a table.
Some leftover cladding floorboards, same as the floor. But he assures me there's going to be a good distinction between the table and the floor for filming, isn't that right?
There will. You wait and see.
You're going to tell us what you're doing, or are you going to surprise us?
No, because I don't know if it's going to work. So, see.
Okay, some kind of table is formed.
So I'm going to do something with the chipboard over here now. So I'm going to use this leftover copper pipe. I have some pipe sticking out to hang things on, like our big power tools that won't go in drawers. Let's step it up now then as we drive to the finish. Tools go up, stairs get painted, the old matting from the pump house gets scrubbed and restained to make it look nice and usable again. And then I laid that in the tool area. I've ordered more edge pieces to finish that off next week when they arrive, so it doesn't look like a jigsaw puzzle. And then a really big moment. We get to move some projects into the space which we'll be working on soon. A step that felt monumental for us all given how much work has gone into reaching this point. And a test for the lift too.
Okay, I'm ready to show you the first floor, and we are now in a position where we can make videos again properly, because you've waited long enough for us to get this pump house in a position where we can do that, and you deserve the normal content again. So we focused on the first floor, although I'm down on the ground floor now, and you can see we have made progress on the entrance hall. We've got hold of the missing cladding that didn't arrive in the last video. Put that up there. There's this black border down the middle. Open to suggestions as to what we do with that, because we want to fill it with something. Could it be cassette tapes, CD jewel cases, magazines, rotten arcade cabinets, cut and jigsawed in there? And it doesn't have to happen all at once. It can be like a progress bar. We can fill that up over time. So open to ideas on that. So not much to see downstairs other than this entrance hall. There is the doorway that will be through to my storeroom there. Put the door in. And as we look up the stairs, we have made use of some old rotten arcade cabinets. Star Wars and Opwolf, they definitely need some downlighters or some spotlights to really show them off. Let's go up the stairs, which are now black with the grippy tape. The downstairs floor, of course, will be poured that original red colour that you can just see traces of. So that will be done at the end. And as we go up, now I'm telling you that the first floor is ready and we will be filming, but it is still rough around the edges and there is still work to be done, but that's fine. I've got to remember my roots. I mean, come on, I started this channel in my spare room with a 1970s ensuite bathroom. It's just ridiculous how far we've come with your support. And this is where it's all going to be happening now. I'll stop teasing you. Look at that. Now, as I say, there's a lot to be done in terms of tools coming up here, the space getting cozier, us working out how to use the space and finishing off various areas. We've got studio lighting on stands, but that will go up Ooh, lovely fairy lights. That will go up above us eventually. But let's just have a walk around. I think we'll start at this end of the room. Let's get the full length of the room. There we go. So in this corner, we've got the big tool storage. We've got some racking to put some boxes on and some more tool storage. And the idea is when things come up from the hidden lift, the brushes are to be installed on the lift there. When things come up, we wheel them across, big items, especially like arcade cabinets, without damaging the floor. We've got all the tools to hand to deconstruct it here and then distribute what we all need to work on out to our desks and our bays. Before we get to them, I've got to show you something that Richard's very proud of. He'll be really sad if I don't show you this. When we're cleaning this space, we get our broom, sweep, 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 sweep. What's this? That's Richard's hidden hatch. And that goes down into a bin bag down below. He's even thought of where we sweep all the rubbish down to. Nice job, Richard. Like I said, rough edges to tidy up. We're not at that stage yet, but we are at the stage where we can use this space. So 3 bays. And the idea being we dress them however we want. Me, Richard, Holly, get a bit of our personalities in there. And this is mine, and I'm sure you'll recognize it as being mine because I've chosen to hark back, I think, to Cave 2.0 days. Back in a town called Malmesbury when I had the previous office, and that's where the apple crates came about. So we've got apple crates. We've got the original tool chest, the first thing patrons ever afforded me way back in the day. We've got the power glove, a very kind donation from Ashens. Thank you, mate. We've got Stroud Man. We've got various things that people have sent in over the years. Emergency Gary. It's just nice. Thank you, Gary. I'm glad you like it. Trevor's back out. So this has got a real cozy feeling going back to all those years since the channel started, and there's the play button there behind Gary. My desk, this is cool. This is an old school science lab desk. So there's various names and hearts and all sorts etched into the desk. No rude words. I've had a good look. And I've put that on a frame that will go up and down, motorized frame, and it's on wheels. So that's my main desk. I think I need another desk. I've got a side desk over here to put things on, like cola bottles, and my little bin over here to sweep things into off the desk. In time, this will evolve. Let's go over to Richard's desk now. So what I'll be doing in my bay is disassembly, soldering, recapping, basic repairs and fault diagnosis. But when it gets more complex, we go to Richard's bay. Richard being the electronics genius that he is. So he set up his bay with a bench here, table at the front, which is made of the floorboards, the cladding that we had left over. Of course, being Richard, he's put some glitter in there. Oh, and some 10p coins. And he's done some cool stuff here. So we've got a display to test things on, a speaker bar, a 5-volt output built right into the wall, the 12-volt output built right into the wall, and his common components. Does this work? Yes, it does. It's following my finger. Oh, I forgot to mention the carpets. Red, green, blue. The retro collective colours in our rugs. So that's Richard's space. We've also used some of the cladding to make up and down lighters on the walls all the way around here. And round to Holly's space, where we have the penny pusher topper, which looks great from any angle. Holly's got the other lab desk, but she hasn't treated it in the same way as I have, so it's got a slightly different look and texture to it. Again, we're all on motorized frames, we're all on wheels, so we can reassemble the set however we want to. Holly's got a harder task than the rest of us because she's got the best space, but it's got 2 walls to fill. So she's done 1 wall so far like the rest of us. And I call this display Holly's brain. Kind of an insight into what Holly's brain's thinking about today. And it switches around a lot, which is why she's, look at this, these are all on magnets. So she can just make new panels, pop them up whenever she wants to. I particularly like the Gateway 2000 panel here. I think that's my favourite. Holly's going to be bringing in various tools and scopes to use and also to look nice. And this area, I think what we're going to do here, or what Holly's going to do, is we found the other half of Richard's workbench, which he used in his bay. You may remember this from the workshop before we started any of this, and it fits, it's inch perfect in here, an inch perfect fit. So hopefully she'll put that in, and then below that she's got some half-height racks which she's going to put on wheels and have various test equipment that she can either use on that desk or wheel out to the various desks. So that's Holly's corner. If we just look at it from this angle, you can see we've already wheeled some arcade machines up that we need to work on quite urgently. Track and field needs a new monitor repair, and we can get apple crates in with the various bits per machine to keep them next to them. Road blasters we need to get up and running. There's a Neo Geo machine that's nearly finished, and a Paperboy down there. Richard's working on an Uzi. I won't ask about that. Let's just take a look from down here and just show you all the cool angles, because I'm getting used to this space, excuse me, as to how I film it, what angles work. I mean, if we look at this, we're obviously on a very wide angle lens camera here, so you won't see it this wide normally, but you see the potential. You get the idea for what we're going to do with this. Good. Well, I hope you like it. Obviously, there's a lot more to do downstairs. Oh, this is the wall that will become the big component and parts wall eventually. And the clocking in, you know, you've got to have your clocking in cards. Haven't actually got the clocking in clock. There we go. I just had to put that on the wall. Right, let me sit down. Here we are. Yeah, in time, this space will evolve and grow, but right now, we are so lucky to have this. I want to thank everyone again for your support in helping us to make this happen through back in the retro pack that we did, the digital download pack at the start of this project, which has funded this whole thing. It's been wonderful, and hopefully you feel that it's value for money, and you will feel even more that it's been value for money when the content really starts to crank out of this place. We fix things, we take them up to the museum, we share things with visitors, and everyone, no matter where you are in the world, gets to enjoy it. And if you're fortunate enough to visit, you get to enjoy it in person. That is the whole idea behind this whole space. Downstairs, of course, we have the library and the storerooms to build. That will be happening behind the scenes, and I will be filming it, and you will get a video on that, but my focus needs to be up here now, so you can all enjoy more videos. Cool. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and seeing us all sweating, and I will see you in the next normal video in this space. Can't wait to do it. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.